1 is the phone number. We welcome to the John Justice Show Meg. Good morning, Meg. Welcome to 104.1 The Truth. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Now, Meg started my day off at 2:45 this morning by going on Facebook and saying that John Justice attacks Muslims and incites hatred and is the pride of Tucson. So while I kind of agree with the third one there, I would like, if you would please provide me with an example of how I've A, attacked any Muslims, and B, incited any hatred.
If you read your comment section, which apparently you do, okay, you don't say anything when people call Muslims savages. Is that really what you stand for as a Christian? Isn't your father a preacher or something?
No, my father's not a preacher. He's a Christian. He's a principal at a school. But if you listen to the show, I don't say, nor do I agree with individuals because they don't say that all Muslims incite violence. I always qualify that as radical extremists or radical Muslims. And I talk about the moderate Muslims who don't act this way. I do it all the time. If you don't hear that, you're not listening close enough, or you're not paying close enough attention to the posts that I put on Facebook. I do a radio show, and I have to stand behind everything that I say. And I don't believe that all Muslims are this way. I believe there are moderate Muslims out there. The ones that we're referring to and that Victor was referring to, we're referring to those radical individuals who right now are using this video as an excuse to incite violence and murder people. So
wait a minute. You mean in Libya, where they just finished with the civil war, where they have weapons laying around? Do you really think that idiotic video, and that's what you call people, idiots, and you called me an idiot several times this morning.
Well, yeah, because you were acting like an idiot by your comments on Facebook.
I gave you a chance to talk. Now in Libya, where these killings took place, and the FBI is investigating an Al-Qaeda plot, yet you have spread this to imply that all Muslims are like this.
No, I haven't.
Wait a minute. You've allowed people like Victor, a, quote, friend of the show, to say that people who are protesting are the last barbarians. In other words,
they are.
You like people to believe.
Because they are barbarians.
They are barbarians. See,
they're killing people, and they're inciting violence and rioting on embassies. What do you think we should call them?
Did they kill?
Daisy pickers?
In Libya, they killed. And the FBI is investigating that. But you see, you don't tell the whole story, John Justice.
Okay, they're also going and rioting in other embassies as well. And they're also acting like barbarians. Rational people don't act that way.
Why not? Why don't rational people protest what they believe is hurtful, especially in countries where the United States pays for bombs to kill babies and women, people at weddings, John? How could you, as a Christian, stand by that kind of thinking?
I don't see the Britons going and rioting and setting things on fire because there's nude photos of Kate Middleton, and that's offensive to them because rational people don't act that way.
That's probably why you have such problems in your religion. It's because people don't care.
I have problems in my religion.
That's sad that people don't care and that you want us to sink to that level because that makes you feel better. Misery loves company.
Yeah, you should know that more than I should.
No, you know what I think? I think that you allow people on your webpage to say incredibly rotten things. But when someone rational like me, who you called irrational, says something, you attack me because some woman is afraid of Muslims. What? You think they're going to invade Tucson? But you think Iran's going to send a plane over to Davis Mountain?
Meg, let me stop you for a second. Meg, let me stop you for a second. I woke up this morning. I work. Meg, I don't really care where you've been, but let me just start off by saying that unprovoked this morning, I got up to Facebook posts of you calling me a bigot, saying that I attacked Muslims, incited hatred, calling for a boycott of my show and my advertisers, completely unprovoked. So who's the one that's calling people names here, Meg? Who started this in the first place? You did.
Who allows that? You didn't say anything to any of these people, but as soon as I said a couple things to your posters, not to you, you jumped on the boat, buddy. And you know what? This is one of the things that you have said. You said that America hasn't been stepping up. What do you mean by that? Do you mean that America should go and kill more people overseas? Is that what you believe? Do you think that that's right, John? You have children. You know, I really don't get this. I'm an American. My parents served in World War II, both of them. Okay, my son was in the Air Force. And you know what? As a Muslim, I'm shocked that Christians and people who tune into your show are mostly Christians would talk the way they talk, and you allow it.
As a Muslim, do you condemn the actions of the individuals who are rioting across the Middle East right now, offended over those videos?
I condemn the actions of Al Qaeda. I'm a Shiite, by the way. I'm not a Sunni Muslim. Okay, I'm not Al Qaeda, and I believe they are terrorists. You know, and that's what people like you are afraid of. Muslims are not like that. Okay, and you know what? You really, when you allow people on your Facebook page and on your call-in show to use this kind of language towards Muslims.
What kind of language? What kind of language?
We're the ones that are experiencing.
What language? What language has been used? What language has been used that you find so offensive?
Savages, okay?
Because those individuals who are inciting the violence and have murdered American people are savages. What would you like me to call them?
You know what?
Freedom fighters?
People, you know what? The people who produce these movies, the guy who, you know, Terry Jones is a classmate of Rush Limbaugh, one of your, you know, peers, okay? And that's where, you know, there are things that don't make sense with it. Okay, September 11th, all of a sudden we hear about a crappy movie, which it was crappy. I don't know if you've seen.
Oh, I have watched it. It's horrible. It's a horrible film. The lighting's bad. The acting's bad. Why anybody would go and get offended by it is beyond me, but...
Well, you know, John, you're right. And in the beginning, I felt that way. I said, you know, why would anybody bother about this? But the more I think about the context of this,
is she calling from the
America
Middle East?
going and invading a country that wasn't even involved
She's calling
in
from
9/11,
Benghazi.
killing hundreds of thousands of people. I escaped an invasion from Israel and Lebanon in 2006. Why? Because you know what? You are doing for another country what they are telling you to do. And, you know, these people really don't deserve that. In Afghanistan, you have soldiers that are urinating on dead bodies. You have Abu Ghraib.
I still don't know how I've attacked Muslims or incited any hatred. You still haven't answered that question.
No, you just don't tell the story. You know, silence.
I've been telling... I
got
4 hours a day to tell a story.
Bad stuff, Don. You don't say...
Is anybody else bored?
If it's the truth,
You
then
bored?
why don't you talk about...
You bored? Show of hands, who's bored? All right.
Who?
Meg, everybody's bored, and I'm bored with you. Was she calling from Benghazi? Seriously.